Okay, great to see everybody. Happy February. Let's come to a nice seat. The good news is that Puxatani Phil did see his shadow. So supposedly we should be getting more winter, even though it's not currently happening. It's like spring out there. Everything's confused. Let's give the shoulders a little roll out. And you can kind of just check in, see how much tension you might be carrying there in your neck. Maybe things are feeling good. And then let's give everything a little forward roll here. And then back again a few times. And then you can take your hands to your thighs, peek down at your feet. Just make sure that you're landing with your knees over your ankles. Feel those sit bones press down into your chair. Take a smooth, full, deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. Again, inhale. Let the breath go. Ha. Couple more times like that at your pace. You can close your eyes if that feels good. And then we're going to seal our lips. So we're going to start to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Right away, just listening to that sound of your breath. Just letting it tune everything else out. And some days it's really easy to drop into a quiet, still space. Some days it's more challenging. You're just observing where you're at today and you're accepting that. And if perhaps this is feeling a little harder, just know that as we sit here, it's going to start to feel a little easier. So there's a lot of value in the practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Instead, it's important that we try. A little check-in with your shoulders. Make sure that they're feeling easy and relaxed, not creeping up towards your ears. Maybe you've started to grip the inner thigh. Maybe there's tension in your face and jaw. So doing a little scan, softening in the places that you can. Good. So from here, gently blink your eyes open. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. Feel a little lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to hinge at your hips. You're going to roll all the way down. And then inhale, coming up. You can press your hands into your thighs so it's like a little cobra pose. And exhale, lengthen, forward fold in. It's kind of like a version of cat-cow. Inhale. Find that extension. It's like an Ardha Uttanasana here. Exhale, round in. Let your chin drop towards your chest so you're lengthening the back of the neck. And then just continuing like this, moving with your breath. Again, you're welcome to keep your eyes closed. Only do that if you feel really safe and stable. If your eyes are open, you're just keeping your gaze soft and gentle. Few more of these. All right, so let's exhale, fold in. And just hang, maybe let your fingertips release towards the floor. Yeah, and soften the shoulders as much as possible. And then you can slowly start to roll up again. You're welcome to use your hands pressing into your legs. And just going slow. You might gently blink your eyes open if they're closed. You might get a little head rush coming up. So take a couple of breaths here. Good. So a couple of options. We're going to come into just a twist to start out. You can either take more of a classic twist. If it's easy for you in your setup, you might want to turn sideways in your chair. And then you can take both hands to the back of your chair. And you're going to push more into that right hand to help you wrap to the left. Again, just the other version would be this. They're both good. Inhale, lengthening through the sides of your waist, finding that space in your spine. Exhale, feeling those left ribs spiral to the right. And you might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over your right shoulder. All right, deep inhale. As you exhale, make your way to center. And we will do the second side. And it could be the same one that you did on the other side. It could be a different one if this side feels different in your body. So just kind of our classic standard twists that we do often. It can feel kind of nice sometimes to turn sideways in your chair. I find that using the back of the chair as I press a little more into that left hand, I can wrap those right ribs to the left a little deeper. Keeping the spine long, finding more space on your inhale. And you hold on to that space. As you exhale, you might be able to wrap in a little deeper. And then just moving your gaze in the direction of that left shoulder. It might not get all the way there. That's fine. Good deep inhale. And then as we exhale, again, we unwind, come back to center. So finding your nice Tadasana mountain pose, landing with feet hips distance apart. So sitting nice and tall. As we exhale, we're going to drop our chin towards our chest. Inhale, you're going to lift your chin. Exhale, bring your gaze out over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, chin drops. Inhale, lift. And exhale, just bring your gaze out over that left shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, chin drops towards chest. Let's do one more cycle like this. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale to the right. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, chin drops. Inhaling, lifting. And exhale, looking out over that left shoulder. Inhale back to center. This time as we exhale and drop our chin down, we hold. So you're going to feel that lengthening in the back of the neck. Carry a lot of tension in the neck and shoulders. These muscles in the neck are relatively small compared to the load that they're carrying. So they get really tight. So send a little extra breath to those muscle fibers. Just imagine that it's combing out any tangles. It's creating some space and ease. And if it feels really intense, like you can't keep your breath steady, you back out a little bit. And then we're going to keep our chin tucked. We're going to take a little road trip. So you're going to keep that breath moving, and you're going to take several breaths as you start to make that little quarter turn to the right. There's going to be spots where you might want to stop and take some pictures, hang out. There might be some spots that you want to pass through quickly, maybe hang out there a little longer. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And then maybe you want to release your left fingertips. So you're adding a little weight to the system. You're going to feel a little more stretch. The top of that left shoulder, the left side of the neck. You can always try something out, and then if it doesn't feel good on any particular day, you just like rewind. So you go back a step or two to where you were before. And then if your left hand is still on your left thigh, go ahead and release it down. We're all going to spin that palm to face forward. And then we're going to inhale, take that arm up and over. Keep the chin tucked, but start to find a little side bend to the right. And if it doesn't feel good to have the arm extended here, you could bend the elbow. In fact, that actually feels kind of good. You wanted to try that, you can almost like lean your head back into that hand a little bit. And then there's a sensation of wrapping those right ribs up towards the ceiling. Good. Maybe extend that arm again as you inhale. And then exhale. Come back to center, and you can bring your head along with you. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. So gaze ahead of you for a couple of breaths. And then just dropping your chin towards your chest again. Is it starting to feel a little different? Are you finding a little more space? And then moving slow, taking your time, pausing along the way. We start to make that quarter turn to the left. Lingering in the spots where there's a lot of sensation. Sending your breath to those places. Trying to find a little space, a little ease. And sticking with your breath. And then if you're getting plenty of sensation in the neck here, you stay like this. Otherwise, maybe you release your right fingertips down towards the floor. It's going to introduce some weight to the system. Some days it works, some days it feels too intense, it's too much. Side to side, it can be different. And then if your right hand is on that right thigh, go ahead and release it down. We're all going to spin our palm to face forward. And then inhale. Take that arm up and over. Find a little side bend. You're still tucking your chin. And then again, maybe that variation of bending the elbow. So impress your head back into your palm. It's kind of a nice stretch in the armpit chest area in addition to the right side of the neck. And then there's this idea of these left ribs subtly rolling up towards the ceiling. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your nose. Good. Inhale, extend that top arm. And exhale. Come back to center. Give the shoulders another roll out. And then just coming into some classic cat-cow here. So landing with your hands on your thighs. As you inhale, you're gonna rock forward on your sit bones, finding that arch in your lumbar, so this cobra pose. As you exhale, you rock to the backs of the sit bones, you drop your chin towards your chest. And continuing, inhaling, arching. And exhaling, rounding in. Closing your eyes here if that feels appropriate for you. Keeping your gaze soft and gentle if that's better. And just gently warming up the spine as we flex and extend it. And just maybe noticing, for me, I find a calming quality when I'm moving with a breath like this. It feels meditative. And sometimes it's a little easier to almost find a focus zone. with movement as opposed to just sitting quietly. All right, so adding on here, if you'd like to extend your right arm forward, you can do so, and then exhale, you can round back in. Inhale, left arm. Good, and then releasing down. So continuing like this, alternating. Maybe reaching with that arm helps you to find a little more of that cross-lateral extension. And finally, for a few rounds, if you'd like to do both hands at the same time, you can finish up on that left side and then extend both. And that almost becomes like a little bit of core work. Again, when we have the arms extended, it's adding a little weight to the system, so it's making it a little more challenging. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. Couple more. If you're alternating arms, just finish up on that left side. Good, and then you're gonna eventually make your way back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. So put your brain in your sit bone, really press down there. Feel that length through the sides of your waist. Release your arms down by your sides. And we're gonna do a little side to side stretching. So another way to warm up the spine in a different direction. So we're gonna inhale, take that left arm up and over. And we're gonna exhale, release down. Inhale, right arm, side bends to the left. And exhale, release. And again, you're continuing here with this dynamic movement. You're following the right pace for you today. Your breath is your metronome. You're enjoying that sensation of extension through the side body. It's kind of really yummy. This is something that we need to focus on for doing all of those twists and flips when we're snowboarding in the Olympic finals. All right, so the next time you're leaning off to the right, just hang out there. You might anchor more into that left sit bone. It might mean that you come out of that side bend a little bit. And then as you press there, can you really extend through those left fingertips? Can you start to bring your gaze up underneath the top arm, assuming that that feels okay in your neck? And then if you're feeling extra spicy today, maybe you start to reach your right arm. We got some takers. And then if you're feeling medium spicy, keep the side bend, but start to twist a little to the left. And then let's release the hands down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. So find that cobra pose feeling. And here we are back in a twist. Maybe it's feeling a little different now that we're open. Keep those shoulder blades releasing down. Keep that sternum stretching up towards the ceiling. Maybe moving towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. And then one final thing here, stay in the twist, really root into that left palm, reach that right arm out, palm faces up, and then exhale, a little side bend to the left. My left shoulder is creeping up towards my ear, so I'm softening it down. And then again, a little spice. Start to wrap your right ribs to the left. You're going to feel those obliques turning on. And then inhale, stretch up. Let's give ourselves a hug. Right elbow on top. So you can grab those shoulder blades. And then inhale, keep the spine long, but elbows lift. Exhale, they release down. Nice, inhaling, lifting. Exhale, release down. Good, inhale, lift. Stay here, take a few breaths. And you should definitely be feeling this in the shoulders, bicep. Nice little arm stretch happening. It'll reach the arms out and up. Good. They release down by your side. Nice deep inhale. Full exhale. And then inhale, up and over to the right we go, and we hang out here. We're holding. You're anchoring more into that right sit bone. As you press there, you can really extend through your left fingertips. There's a little twist of those left ribs up towards the ceiling. All of these tiny little micro movements happening, which is part of what keeps yoga so interesting. Always a little something else that we can add to the mix. We've got the basics. A little check-in with your breath again. Make sure you have that nice inhale through your nose and then exhale through your nose. And then feel how long this right side is. Can you find a little of that length on the left side as you potentially choose to spice things up? And then a little more. Imagine that you've just like boarded off of a big jump and you're starting to twist oh so slowly. It's like a slow motion camera. Woo. To the right, or to the left rather. Oh, and then go ahead and release your hands down. So we're folding forward slightly. We're in this twist, but then we're going to inhale, open up. So that sternum lifts up towards the ceiling. Notice if that left shoulder is creeping up towards your ears. Right shoulder too. Check in with both of them. So we're back in this twist. Breath is smooth and steady. Good. So we're gonna stay here. Keep pressing that right palm in to your either leg, depending on where you are with the twist. Reach that left arm out, palm faces up, and then start to side bend here. Shoulders releasing down your back. Breath smooth and steady, really extending through those left fingertips. Maybe trying to root a little more into your left sit bone if it's getting a little light like mine is. And then again, we got that slow motion camera on, breaking down the pose here. You start to wrap those left ribs. Maybe slightly to the right. Good, and then give yourself that hug. Start to roll up. So elbows stacking, you're in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. We're gonna feel that tomorrow. You're welcome, I think. As you inhale, elbows lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling, elbows lifting. And exhale, they release down. Inhale, they lift, and we hold here for a few breaths. Noticing where you're getting that good stretch in the shoulders and the arms, sending your breath to the spots that are a little tight and tender. Really nice. As you inhale, take up lots of space as you reach up. And exhale, arms release down. Back to our mountain pose we come. Just take a couple of breaths here. Maybe close your eyes. Check in, notice how you're feeling. And then eyes blink open. Let's get a little hip stretch here. Couple of options. You can always stay right here. This is like our ground base. You can always work any pose from Tadasana Mountain Pose. You might open up that right leg and, you might just be coming this far. But we're trying to find a little external rotation at that right hip socket. And then final option would be this seated pigeon. So if it's available to you to cross that right ankle over your left thigh, you can do that. If you find that there's any tenderness in your knee, flexing this right foot is going to engage the muscles around the knee to help protect that joint. So they're all going to get into similar places, some a little different than others. So sometimes it's also nice to do a variation that you don't normally go to. So feel free to mix it up here. I'm just going to take a few breaths, kind of, not adding anything into the pose yet. You're just observing where you're at and noticing what's going on with your body. Every time we do our yoga practice, things are always a little different. It's not the same as it was last week. It's not the same as it was yesterday. Tomorrow will be a different story as well. We're never trying to force anything. We are trying to, accept that this is what it looks like today. So if you're feeling like you want a little more, if you're in this variation that I'm doing right now, you could use the strength of your arm to press that thigh down. So it gets a little juicier. And conversely, if you're in this Warrior II version, same idea, but you're pressing that leg back behind you. Can you visualize that exhale going to this outer thigh, your glute, your hip? And then let's all release our arms down by our sides. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Good, spin the palms to face out. And then exhale. Bring the wrists in line with the shoulders. Deep inhale here. And we're gonna exhale, give ourselves a hug again. Right arm is gonna come on top. All right, so you can stick with this variation if it feels good. You might bring the backs of your hands together. You might be able to really pretzel things and wrap again, so palms press. Can you release your shoulder blades to your sit bones even as you're lifting your arms up? It's a really nice stretch for the shoulders. Good, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, do a little twist with your upper body to the left. It's gonna be tiny. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, twist to the right. It's probably going to feel a little easier. Good, reach the arms out and up, and then they come down. So left hand pressing on your left thigh, somewhere on your right shin. Grabbing a piece of chair with that right hand. Here we are again. In our twist. Slightly different leg variation, so as such, it might feel different in your body. Get curious about where you're getting sensation, how it's different, how it's useful and helpful. One more deep inhale here. As you exhale, you unwind, come back to center. We're going to do just one final thing. If you do have blocks, you could grab them. Not necessary. We're going to just take a forward fold here. So if you have a table in front of you, that would work as well. You can also just have hands on your thighs. So we're going to fold in here. And it's just going to intensify the stretching that you're getting in that outer right hip. Breath is smooth and steady. Can you let the back of your neck lengthen so your chin drops towards your chest? And then a couple of options here to come up. You could slowly roll up like a little rag doll. If you wanted to inhale, extend forward, it's like a little Ardha Uttanasana. And then maybe bring your hands to your hips. So we're getting a little core action here. Inhale, roll on up, beautiful. Good work. We come back to our Tadasana, our mountain pose. And we set up the second side, which could look the same or different. So again, you're kind of, assessing what it is that you need today, maybe trying something different. If you have kind of a favorite, mix it up. So just finding any hip opening here, whatever that looks like. And then just several breaths in this initial pose. You're not trying to add anything, just kind of like simmering a little bit. You're getting curious about how this side feels different in your body. You're listening to that sound of your breath. Returning to that sound of your breath will help you to refocus if you need to. And maybe you're noticing that it is indeed sometimes challenging to sit in these poses, especially when we're getting a lot of sensation. There's a temptation to fidget, to adjust. All right, so if you want a little more, maybe you're gently pressing down, on your left thigh or back if you're doing those warrior two legs. You're just giving yourself enough, which might be nothing. That's always an acceptable option. Really nice. Go ahead and release your arms down by your side. So a little external rotation of the shoulder head. Inhale, take up lots of space. Find that length in your spine. Spin the palms to face out. And then it's kind of like you're finding your warrior two arms here. Good, nice, deep inhale. And we're gonna give ourselves a hug. Let's see, we're gonna take the right arm on top. Okay, so elbow stacking, this variation works. If you wanted to bring the backs of the palms or backs of the hands or the palms to press, that works. And then wherever you're at, keep your shoulder blades releasing towards your sit bones, but start to lift your arms up any amount. Stretching into the shoulders, the neck area. Doing less if you need to. Breath smooth and steady. Deep inhale. We're going to do that little exhale twist to the right, and it's not going to be super far. It's challenging with the legs like this, the arms like this. It's a tiny little movement. And you keep your shoulder blades releasing down your back. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale. Twist to the left. And then you're going to release the arms. Grab a piece of chair behind you. Right hand is going to come somewhere on that left leg. It could also be on your right leg. Gently lifting your sternum, wrapping those right ribs. To the left. Couple more good breaths here. Maybe just observing if we've done a lot of twisting today. So is it feeling like you're in a little deeper? Beautiful. As you exhale, unwind, come back to center. And then we take that forward fold. So again, you might have blocks in front of you. Ooh. You could have hands anywhere on your legs. You could use a wall in front of you, a desk, a second chair. Have you started to grip, especially if that left glute hip is really tight? Can you back out a little bit if you need to, just so you can soften a bit? Has your breath gotten ragged? Can you smooth it out? And then again, options, you can roll on out. Sometimes like that feels really good, like your little rag doll. Or maybe you inhale, lengthen, and then hands to hips, nice flat spine. It's a little core. So come on up. Beautiful. Come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Allow your eyelids to close here. And let's do some of our Viloma breath. So our 3-part breathing. And let's all take a smooth, full, deep inhale here together. Full, complete exhale. Completely empty at the bottom, a little pause. Your belly is going to pull in and up. You're going to inhale up to your belly button, so about 1/3 of the way. Pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way up to those floating ribs. Pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Feel that lift of your sternum. Keep those shoulder blades releasing down. Slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Couple recovery breaths at the bottom. And then a smooth, full, deep inhale. Full, complete exhale. Little pause at the bottom. Inhale 1/3 of the way up. Inhale another third. Inhale all the way up, pause. And slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Few recovery breaths. So I invite you to do 3 more rounds. I'm not going to cue you. You're going to move at a pace that feels good for you. And you're going to hold the breath as long as it feels good for you. So it's going to be a little different for all of us. You're going to kind of just trust your intuition here. After each cycle, you can take a couple of recovery breaths before you move into the next one. And so as you're ready, there's no rush. As you complete your 3rd cycle, you're going to move to some form of resting pose. So probably your shape's not going to change a lot physically, but let it internally have a different feeling. Invite in this sense of rest, of surrender. Invite in this idea of assimilating the work that we've done together. So your body and brain, they're going to put it together. You're going to stop controlling your breath in any way. You're going to let it find its own natural rhythm. Shavasana. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Next inhale is deeper. You can open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then just start to bring some gentle movement back to your body. So circle ankles, wrists, wiggle fingers, toes, stretch out. Anything that feels good here. You're going to eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself, your body, love and gratitude. The gift to be able to meet together and work like this. We send each other gratitude. And finally, just promise yourself that you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day ahead. Bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work, twisty, turny, snowboard yogis.